Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correctness shall drive it away far from him. Those are the words that comes out of Abeke, a typical African mother. Whenever a child did something wrong and she's correcting her with a cane in her hands. All mothers believe that the only way to correct a child's wrongdoing is by flogging them with rod and cane. If you grew up in an African home and you have never for once received the beating of your life for doing something wrong, it means you're not the true son of the soil. Those are also the belief of all market women at the market square in Abeokuta. But one woman had a whole different ideology about the whole situation and devised another means for herself to correct her child. But little did she know that even a perfect plan isn't perfect enough. In the heart of Abeokuta's market, where traders compete for space and customers, Awele's stall shines as the most prosperous of all. Awele, a name synonymous with kindness and success, isn't just a trader. She is a mother, a wife, and a pillar of the community. Her journey to success was not an easy one, but through hard work, determination, and a heart full of love, she rose to become the market's most respected figure. Years ago, Awele started with a small stall, selling just a few items. It was her perseverance and dedication that made the difference. She saved every penny, reinvested her profits, and built a business that grew year after year. But Awele wasn't a shrewd businesswoman. She was a kind soul who never forgot the struggles she had faced. A smiling Awele handing a bag of goods to a woman. "Don't worry, my sister. Pay what you can afford. We are all in this together." Awele's kindness did not go unnoticed. The market women loved her, not just because of her success, but because she always remembered to lift others as she climbed. She donated goods to those who couldn't afford them, gave school supplies to children, and was the first to organize support whenever a trader faced hardship. "Awele is a true blessing," said one woman. "She treats us all like a sister. When my son was sick, she paid for his medicine without me even asking." Another market woman said, "I agree. And last year, during the market fire, she helped us rebuild. If not for Awele, I don't know where we would be today." To the market women, Awele was more than just a trader. She was a guardian, a friend, and a mother figure. She had earned their love and respect through countless acts of kindness. At home, Awele's happiness was mirrored by the love she shared with her husband, Chief Adisa. Their relationship was one of mutual respect and genuine affection. They had built a life together, weathering storms and celebrating triumphs side by side. Chief Adisa, laughing and handing Awele the keys. "You deserve a bigger space, my dear. You have worked hard enough for it. It's time your business matched your ambition." An emotional Awele hugging him tightly. "Adisa, you are always so thoughtful. I couldn't ask for a better husband." Chief Adisa wasn't just a husband. He was Awele's confidant and the greatest supporter. He encouraged her to dream big and was always there to help turn those dreams into reality. Together, they were the perfect team, a union of love, strength, and shared ambition. But even with all our happiness, There was a shadow that loomed over Awele's life, a burden that caused her great pain. Her two sons, Kola and Dayo, were notorious in the neighborhood for their unruly behavior. While their mother was a figure of love and kindness, the boys had become a source of distress and disrespect. Kola, Dayo, how many times have I told you to behave yourselves? Do you know how embarrassing this is? What if that woman asked me to pay for the window? Kola shruggingly said, "Let her pay for it. It's just a window. Besides, you have plenty of money, don't you?" Awele's face fell as she realized the extent of the boy's disrespect. She struggled to maintain her composure as she speaks to them. Awele softly said, almost pleading, "You must learn to respect others. You cannot act like this and expect people to love you. Is this how I raised you?" Despite Awele's effort to discipline her sons, Kola and Dayo continued to wreak havoc in the city. They terrorized younger children at school, bullied others for lunch money, even caused damage to stalls in the market, much to the frustration of the women who adored their mother. For Awele, the greatest pain came not from the troubles her son caused, but from the knowledge that they were hurting others. She had built her life on love and kindness, and to see her own children defy those values was a wound that never seemed to heal. A crying young boy said, "Leave me alone. I didn't do anything to you." Dayo sneered, "Shut up and give us your money, or we will make you regret it." Back at the market, where the boys knock over a tray of fruits, the market women in charge rushes over, scolding them. "You boys are nothing like your mother. She's kind and respectful, but you only know how to destroy things." "Why do you care?" Kola grinning defiantly. "My mother will pay for it." The market women, who had always held Awele in the highest regard, began to whisper among themselves. They wondered how a woman as wonderful as Awele could have such wayward children. The gossip grew louder, and the respect Awele once commanded seemed to waver. Later that evening, Awele and Chief Adisa are having a conversation. They sit on the veranda, the moon casting a soft glow over their faces. Awele's expression is one of deep sadness as she speaks to her husband. "Adisa, I don't know what to do anymore. Kola and Dayo, they are tearing my heart apart. I have tried everything, but nothing seems to change them." Chief Adisa holding her hand. "My dear, you have given them everything. A good life, love, and discipline. But sometimes children lose their way. We must not give up on them. They are still our sons, and we must continue to guide them." Awele knew her husband was right, but the pain was hard to bear. The kindness she showed to others could not mend the brokenness she felt in her own home. In the neighborhood of Okiaje, the sound of children playing was often mixed with the cries of those being disciplined. Like many African communities, it was believed that a stubborn child could only be corrected by the rod. But Awele, a prosperous trader and loving mother, held a different view. One fateful afternoon, a group of market women gathered in the market square. They are discussing a recent incident where a young boy was caught stealing a fruit from a vendor's stall. The women are divided on how the child should be disciplined. Awele was seen walking up to the market square where the women are gathered around the young boy, about 10 years, who is cowering in fear. One of the market women, Mama Funke, holds a cane in her hand and is scolding the boy. You think it's okay to steal, eh? I will flog that foolishness out of you today. Mama Funke begins to quote from the Bible as she raises the cane. Proverbs 22 verse 15 says, foolishness is bound in the heart of the child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. You will learn your lesson today. As Mama Funke is about to flog the boy, Awele steps forward, her voice firm but gentle. Mama Funke, wait. Let's not rush to punish the boy this way. There are other ways to teach him a lesson. We can talk to him, understand why he did what he did, and find a way to correct him without causing him pain. The first market woman scoffed. Awele, you always say this. You think talking to these stubborn children will change them? We all know that the only thing they understand is the cane. The other market woman agreed. Exactly. If you don't beat the bad behavior out of them now, they will grow up to become real troublemakers. Back at home, Awele, dealing with her own sons, Kola and Dayo, who have just been caught causing trouble in the neighborhood. They had vandalized a neighbor's fence by spraying graffiti on it. Awele stands in the living room staring at her sons, who look down at their feet, avoiding eye contact. Kola, Dayo, how many times must I tell you to respect other people's property? I am so tired of hearing complaints about your behavior. Dayo mumbling, it was just for fun, Mama. We didn't mean any harm. Awele shaking her head, fun. Do you know how much it will cost to repaint that fence? You are not children who lack, yet you behave like those who have no home training. Even though our sons were becoming a source of worry and shame, Awele could not bring herself to use the rod to discipline them. She had watched mothers beat their children with canes and belts, but Awele believed that physical punishment would only breed resentment and fear, not respect. The following day at the market, two women approached Awele at her store, Mommy Funke and Mommy Ayo. Mama Funke firmly said, Awele, you are a good woman, but sometimes I think you are too soft. Look at your own sons, always causing trouble. Maybe if you discipline them properly, they will not become a thorn in your side. Awele defensively said, with her voice rising slightly, I discipline my sons, Mama Funke, but I do it in a way that teaches them to understand their actions. I do not want them to grow up fearing me. I want them to grow up knowing the difference between right and wrong. Mama Ayo calmly said, Awele, I understand what you are saying, but what do we do when a child refuses to listen? When talking doesn't work, sometimes we have no choice but to use the rod. Awele softly said, then we must try harder to reach them, Mama Ayo. I know it's not easy, but beating them only teaches them to solve problems with violence. We must show them love and guidance even when they make mistakes. Later that night, Awele and Chief Adisa sit in their living room discussing the day's event. Awele looks tired but resolute as she tells her husband about the incident with Mommy Funke and Mommy Ayo and the debate in the market. Chief Adisa thoughtfully said, you are a good woman, Awele. It's not easy to stand against what everyone else believes. But I see your struggle with Kola and Dayo and I worry. What if they don't change? Awele sighing deeply. I know, Adisa, sometimes I feel like I'm failing them. But if I give in to flogging them, I feel I'll only be teaching them to meet frustration with force. There must be another way. Chief Adisa nodding, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. You are doing the best you can, my dear. We will keep trying together. We cannot give up on them. Our late struggle to raise our boys was far from over, but her heart remained open. In a world where the rod was seen as the answer to every stubborn child, she continued to believe in the power of understanding, patience, and love. Days had turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Our latest attempt to correct our boys' behavior through reasoning and guidance seemed only to fall on deaf ears. In fact, their stubbornness grew with each passing day, and the mischief became even more reckless. But Awele was a mother who refused to give up. If words couldn't reach them, perhaps work could. Awele walks across the shared compound towards her neighbor's house. Femi and his wife Kike are sitting outside enjoying the evening breeze. Awele approaches them, accompanied by her sons, who look uncharacteristically sullen. Good evening, Femi. Good evening, Kike. I have come to ask for your help. These boys of mine need to learn some discipline, and I've thought of a way that might just work. Femi raising an eyebrow, curious. What do you have in mind, Awele? Awele gesturing towards her son. From now on, every time Kola and Dayo misbehave, they'll be sent over to your house to help with domestic chores, whether it's cleaning the compound, washing clothes, or even scrubbing your car. They will work. This way, they will learn that their actions have consequences. A smiling Kike said, Awele, you are truly unpredictable. But I must say, this is an interesting form of punishment. If it will help the boys learn some discipline, we are more than happy to have them help around here. Thus, Awele's new form of discipline was born. Each time Kola and Dayo caused trouble, their punishment was a day of domestic service at Femi and Kike's compound. It was not the flogging many African mothers would resort to, but it was still a consequence that taught them responsibility and humility. Without waiting for too long, Kola and Dayo found themselves at Femi and Kike's house, standing with their arms crossed, clearly annoyed. Femi hands them a broom and a bucket of water, instructing them to clean the compound and wash the car. The boys grumble as they begin their task, exchanging frustrated glances. Kola muttering to Dayo, I can't believe Mama sent us here to do chores. It's not even our house. A grumbling Dayo, this is worse than a beating. Why can't she just let us be? As the boys work, Femi supervises, occasionally pointing out spots they missed or areas that needs more attention. He doesn't raise his voice. His tone is firm and commanding. Femi calmly said, Kola, don't forget to scrub the tires properly. Dayo, make sure you clean behind the door, not just the center of the compound. For Kola and Dayo, this was not the kind of punishment they had expected. It was tedious and exhausting, but Awele was determined to make them understand that their actions had consequences beyond just a scolding. Good job, boys. You see, hard work is not a bad thing. It builds character and makes you appreciate what you have, Femi said, clapping his hands together. Kola rolling his eyes, mumbling to himself, I would rather be playing football. Just as they finish their chores, Awele walks over to Femi's compound. She watches her sons with a hint of satisfaction, her expression softening as she sees them looking wary but not defiant. Awele to Femi and Kike smiling. Thank you for allowing them to help. I hope they learn to appreciate the value of work. Awele had chosen a different path, one that went against the grain of traditional punishment. It was not about breaking their will, but about shaping their character through humility and responsibility. But little did Awele know that Femi had in plan a different plan for the boys. Their community service at Femi's house continued for a while, which made Femi start manipulating the boys to his own advantage. Whether they did anything wrong or not, Femi would devise a means and lie to Awele about the boys. Awele, I don't know what to say about these boys. They have been misbehaving again, causing trouble and talking back. I had to discipline them several times yesterday, Femi said to Awele. Awele shaking her head. These boys, I thought they were getting better. I can't understand why they won't just change. I'm so sorry, Femi. I will make sure they come over again to help with the chores. Femi's manipulation was subtle at first. Small lies about the boys' behavior to ensure Awele sent them over regularly. He had found a way to exploit Awele's punishment, using the boys as free labor to make his life easier. Back to the boys in Femi's compound, scrubbing the floors and washing the clothes. Femi stands by holding a cigarette, watching lazily as the boys work. He occasionally snaps at them, finding fault in their work even when there is none. Kola, you missed a spot on the car. Wash it again, and Dayo, scrub those clothes harder. I don't want to see a single stain left. Femi's laziness grew worse with each passing day. The boys became his means of avoiding any real work, and he began to lie to Awele even when the boys hadn't done anything wrong, just to have them around him to cater to his every need. Femi and Kike are young, married couple who had been together for 5 years but without a child. All Kike's efforts to give birth to a child has proven abortive because Femi's waywardness had caused Kike not to be able to conceive. But Kike wasn't aware of this because every time they go for checkup at the hospital, Femi would arrange with the doctor to lie to Kike that nothing was wrong with him and that he's perfectly okay. All terrible acts are at the hands of Femi. He smokes, humanizes, he's lazy, dirty, and never wants to do anything, so his prayers were only answered the most when Awele brought the boys to him for community service. Femi, lounging on the couch while Kike is away in the market, is on the phone with one of his side chicks, flirting shamelessly. Yes, darling, you can come over tonight. My wife won't be back until late. We will have the whole house to ourselves. Femi's waywardness extended beyond laziness. He was a womanizer, a cheat and a liar. His true nature was hidden beneath a veneer of politeness, but behind closed doors he was anything but a devoted husband. Kola and Dayo's chores in Femi's compound only grew worse. Struggling to keep up with the increased workload, Femi's demands grew more unreasonable, and he often sent them on errands for his side chicks, making them run around the city on foot. Dayo, panting and frustrated. Why do we have to do all this? This is not even about discipline anymore. It's like we are his servants. Kola nodding in agreement. We should tell Mama the truth about what he's doing. He lies about us all the time. Back at the boys' house, Awele, their mother, was at home scolding the boys after Femi's latest complaint. The boys tried to explain themselves, but Awele doesn't believe them. Awele firmly said, "Enough excuses. I am tired of hearing the same stories. You are always in trouble. Femi won't lie about your behavior. If you want to stop going there, you need to start behaving better." The boys' effort to reveal the truth fell on Awele's deaf ears. To Awele, they were still stubborn and troublesome. She couldn't see that Femi was using her discipline to his own advantage. Another day, another community service. The boys at Femi's house, as he brings one of his side chicks over, The boys are outside, scrubbing the walls as punishment for another supposed infraction. Femi calls out to them, Kola, Dayo, go and buy some drinks for my guest. Make sure it's the good stuff and don't take too long. The boys exchange glances, their expressions a mix of frustration and resentment. They know they are being used but feel powerless to change the situation. Kola muttering to Dayo as they walk away. Why does Mama trust him so much? He's a real troublemaker, not us. Dayo clenching his fist. We have to do something. If Mama doesn't believe us, then we'll have to find another way to expose him. One fateful day, at Femi's cluttered living room, where Kola and Dayo are scrubbing the floor as usual, Femi is lounging on the couch with a cigarette, chatting on his phone with one of his side chicks. The boys exchanged frustrated glances, their patience worn thin after months of enduring Femi's manipulative behavior. The boys had suffered in silence for long enough. They had been used, lied to, and made to do endless chores. Femi's shameless behavior, his womanizing, and his lies had gone too far. They decided it was time to fight back. Kola and Dayo huddled together outside, whispering to each other as they plot their revenge. Let's go to Auntie Kike's shop, Kola said. We will tell her about the fine auntie who comes around when she's not at home. Dayo, determined to do so, nodded his head. Yes, we will give her all the details. Femi can't keep using us and getting away with it. They knew that Femi's greatest weakness was his womanizing ways. The boys decided to use that against him. They pulled together the last of their pocket money to buy ice cream, intending to lure Kike's attention while pretending to be innocent. At Kike's shop, a cozy boutique filled with colorful fabrics and accessories, Kike is arranging new merchandise when Kola and Dayo walks in, licking their ice cream. She smiles warmly at them, assuming they are visiting out of politeness. Hello boys, how are you? How is your mother, Awele? She's fine, ma. We just came to greet you. We really like your sister. Oh, she's very nice. Kike confused and laughing. My sister? Do you know my sister? Dayo nodded, still licking his ice cream. Yes, ma. The fine auntie who comes to your house when you're at shop. She stays with Uncle Femi almost every day. At first, Kike did not understand. But as the boys continued, a sense of dread began to settle in her stomach. Kike's voice dropped, a frown forming. Describe this auntie for me. Kola innocently said, She's at your house now, ma. That is why we have ice cream. Uncle Femi just bought it for us and sent us home to rest. She doesn't waste a second. She bolts out of the shop, leaving her keys behind as she jumps on a motorcycle and heads home. Kike arriving at home, breathless and furious, she burst into the living room to find Femi lounging with her side chick. The woman quickly jumps up in alarm as Kike storms in, eyes blazing with anger. What is this, Femi? Who is this woman in my house? Femi, stammering, caught off guard. Kike, calm down. It's not what he looks like. Get out, both of you, out of my house. Kike grabs Femi's clothes from the bedroom, forcing them into the front yard, while Femi pleads with her to listen. Kike doesn't stop, her fury only growing as she continues throwing his belongings outside. Dayo and Kola walk up to the house as Kike is still throwing Femi's belongings out. They watch as he kicks him out of the door and notices them standing nearby. Kike pointing at Femi's things. Boys, come and help me throw his things out. It doesn't belong here anymore. Kola and Dayo did not hesitate. They ran inside and started carrying Femi's shoes, clothes, even his old books, tossing everything out with a sense of satisfaction. A grinning Dayo throws out a pair of shoes. I guess we won't have to clean your car anymore, Uncle Femi. Femi angrily glaring at the boys. You little rats, you set me up. Kike turning to Femi. Leave now before I call the police. You don't deserve to be in this house. Kike had finally seen through the lies, and Femi's true nature was exposed for everyone to see. The boys who had suffered at his hands for months finally got the justice they had been seeking. Awele, returning home later that evening, Kola and Dayo sitting in the living room waiting for her, looking both anxious and relieved. Awele walks in and Kike quickly explained everything that happened, including the boys' role in revealing Femi's deceit. Awele turning to her sons, her expression softening. Boys, I'm so sorry. I didn't listen to you when you were telling me the truth. I believed Femi's lies instead. Please forgive me. Kola standing up, his voice sincere. We are sorry too, Mama. We caused you a lot of trouble, but we've learned our lesson. We will be better from now on. Dayo nodding. We promise. We don't want to make you worry anymore. Awele's heart swelled with pride and relief. Her sons had shown a great courage in standing up for themselves, and for the first time in a long while, she felt at peace, knowing they were finally on the right path. Back at the market, Awele stands in front of a small crowd of market women, addressing them. She speaks passionately, holding a microphone, while Kola and Dayo stood beside her. My fellow mothers, we all know how challenging it can be to raise children. There are days when we don't know the right way to discipline them. I too thought that sending my boys to do chores as punishment will teach them discipline, but I have learned something important. There are different ways to correct our children that do not involve beating them. And there are dangers in blindly trusting others to discipline our children on our behalf. I trusted someone who turned out to be deceitful, and my boys suffered for it, but they showed courage and found a way to expose the truth. We must show our children love, and we must listen to them when they speak. Let us discipline with understanding and teach them the values of honesty and respect. There is more to raising a child than the rod. What do you think about Awele's journey and the boys' courage? Is there more to discipline children than punishment? Share your thoughts in the comment section and let's discuss the moral lessons of this story. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories of resilience, justice, and unconventional wisdom.